When my childhood friend Liam first awakened his werewolf nature, his friend called me over to help him ease the symptoms. But Liam said, "I really don't want to give her the satisfaction. We werewolves are the most loyal in love. Whoever we mark for the first time becomes our lifelong soul mate. Even if Arya begs to help me when she gets here, I'll have to resist." But no matter how long he waited, I never showed up. He didn't know that his brother's bodyguard had been blowing up my phone. "Miss Arya, the young master has long considered you his only mate. Please, could you come and give him a kiss?" It turns out that 5 years ago, when I had a fatal skiing accident and fell into a ravine, his brother saved me by marking me and sharing half of his werewolf lifespan, snatching me back from the clutches of death. Late that night, I wrapped my arms around his brother's neck and coaxed, "Declan, don't hold back. Tell me, how many years have you been secretly in love with me?" Liam's family all had the werewolf gene. After turning 20, they would go into heat every full moon. Whoever they marked for the first time would become their lifelong soul mate. I thought the person Liam wanted to mark was definitely me. But when he first awakened his werewolf nature, his friend called me over to help him ease the symptoms. Instead, I overheard Liam saying irritably outside the private room, "I really don't want to give Arya the satisfaction. I want to pursue the campus beauty, but she's not an easy girl. Unlike Arya, who's like an eager puppy, always at my beck and call. When she gets here, even if she begs to help me, I'll have to resist. I don't want to sleep with her and end up tied to her for life, completely under her thumb." Standing outside the room, my mind went blank. I never imagined that Liam, who had grown up with me, saw me this way. His friends, always quick to jump on the bandwagon, all laughed. "So in your eyes, she's just a plaything. Why don't I call and tell her not to come? Save her from taking advantage of you tonight and trying to climb the social ladder through your bed. To be honest, I think you get what you pay for." But Liam stopped his friend from making the call, saying uncomfortably, "Forget it. If we tell her not to come now, what will she think? Even if she's just a plaything, she's the one I've spoiled since childhood. I can't bear to hurt her feelings. When she gets here, I'll see if I can resist touching her. There are some things I don't want to spell out. This is a good opportunity to let her see things clearly." At that moment, I wanted to burst in and shout at Liam, "You can't bear to hurt my feelings, yet you compare me to an eager puppy in front of your friends, letting them mock and belittle me. You don't deserve my infatuation." But I held back. Why waste words on someone who doesn't cherish me? I turned and fled the scene, telling myself not to cry. After some thought, I called his brother's bodyguard. "Remember how you begged me to help ease Liam's brother's symptoms? Do you still need that now? Send me the address. I'll be right there." Half an hour earlier, the bodyguard had called to tell me a truth Liam had deliberately concealed. "Miss Arya, do you remember 5 years ago when the young master took you skiing and you unfortunately fell into a ravine? The older young master led us on a rescue mission. We searched for 3 days and nights before finding you buried in the snow, frozen like an ice sculpture. You had no pulse at the time. The older young master told his brother that werewolves could share half their lifespan with their mate through a blood ritual on the full moon night. The blood ritual is another form of marking. Once performed, they would consider that person their lifelong soul mate. But the younger master wasn't willing to do it, yet he couldn't bear to let you die like that. He held you and cried uncontrollably. In the end, it was the older master who saved you. You were very lucky. It happened to be a full moon night. To save you, the older master performed the blood ritual and shared half his lifespan with you. But in doing so, he also marked you, committing to you as his soul mate for life. The younger master begged his brother not to tell you about this. For the past 5 years, every full moon night, the older master has endured alone, never bothering you, and strictly forbidding anyone from revealing the blood ritual to you. But tonight he really can't bear it anymore. He's been severely injured and is fighting for his life. With the full moon, he won't make it through without you. Please, could you come and help him?" At that moment, my mind went blank. I never imagined that I had actually died once 5 years ago. Liam, who had cherished me since childhood, wasn't willing to sacrifice half his lifespan to save me. Instead, it was his cold-faced brother who had snatched me back from death's grasp. But I still hardened my heart and told the bodyguard, "I'm sorry, but Liam needs me more tonight." I was willing to be ungrateful just to rush over and help Liam, only to be mocked by him as an eager puppy, a mere plaything. Yes, I was truly pathetic. I deserved to be treated so cheaply. But I won't debase myself anymore. I wiped away my tears of hurt and humiliation, gripping my phone tightly as I told the bodyguard, "Is it too late to repay this life-saving debt now? If Lucas absolutely needs me tonight, I'll go right now. I'll give it my all." The bodyguard wept with joy. "It's not too late, not at all. Miss Arya, I'll send you the location right away. If the young master wasn't critically injured and facing a full moon night, I would never have dared to disobey his orders and reveal this to you. The family rules are very strict." I understood. Lucas probably just wanted to save my life, nothing more. He didn't want me clinging to him. And I just wanted to repay his kindness for saving my life. It wasn't because Liam had broken my heart, and I was running into his brother's arms. But I never expected that when I rushed to the VIP ward at the hospital, I would see Fiona, the campus beauty, standing outside the room, desperate to get in. Let me in, quick. Isn't it a full moon night? How do you know Mr. Declan doesn't need me? Declan, just let me in to help you, please. I suddenly found it amusing. Liam said Fiona wasn't an easy girl, yet here she was, offering herself to his brother. The bodyguards who had refused to let Fiona in immediately opened the door when they saw me, tears in their eyes. Miss Arya, you're finally here. Please, come in. The young master truly needs you tonight. Envy and hatred distorted Fiona's face. She shrieked hysterically. Why does Arya get to go in? Declan got hurt so badly just to save her. She's nothing but bad luck. How dare you let her in? I froze for a moment. Saved me again? What did that mean? The ward was already in chaos. I saw Declan lying shirtless on the bed, his face flushed, short hair damp with sweat. His fingertips curled tightly from the surging heat, and the thick white bandages on his back were soaked through with bright red blood. The doctor stood nearby, shouting urgently. For heaven's sake, stop resisting. I'm begging you, find a woman to help you quickly. The bandages we just changed are soaked through again. How much blood do you think you have left to endure this torment? It's a full moon night. The werewolf blood is raging far beyond normal levels, and your blood's ability to clot has failed. Even the best hemostatic drugs I've given you aren't working. We need to find a way to ease the surging heat in your body now, or you might bleed to death tonight. Where is this girl you say can save the young master? When will she arrive? The bodyguards standing by the bed had already seen me. They bowed deeply to me with respect and gratitude. Doctor, she's here. At these words, the man lying on the bed, enduring his private hell, suddenly opened his eyes. A pair of intimidating dark red eyes, cold yet dazzling, held back the surging, intense desire as they fell unexpectedly on my face, surprised and annoyed. Who called her here? Take her away. The bodyguard bowed and said. Young master, it was me. I'll accept any punishment as long as Miss Arya can help ease your symptoms tonight. Besides, you were injured this time trying to save Miss Arya again. You've risked your life twice to save her without taking credit. You might not feel wronged, but we truly feel it on your behalf. I secretly observed the imposing man lying on the bed. Although Liam and I were childhood friends, I had always avoided Declan like the plague. Because he was known as the living incarnation of the Grim Reaper. Even the most arrogant troublemakers became meek in his presence. It was an absolute domination of methods and aura. I usually tried to avoid him at all costs when I saw him. Now, this man who struck fear into everyone's hearts was clutching the bedsheets, his feet involuntarily curling as he tried to resist. Every part of his body radiated heat waves, his passionate breathing becoming more and more evident. The contrast was so strong, it was captivating. A beautiful man in repose, mesmerizing. However, you say he was severely injured because of me again. The bodyguard was about to speak, but Declan cut him off harshly. Shut up. Try saying one more word. Then he switched to a gentle yet distant tone to address me. Arya, leave. I don't need you here. The bodyguard, risking his life, said. Young master, stop pretending. You won't win a wife by being stubborn. Your mouth is the toughest part of you, but your heart is as soft as putty. Whenever Miss Arya is in danger, you'd risk your life, even rush into a fire to save her. Do you think we're blind? There was more than one bodyguard in the room, and they all fearlessly started to complain. That's right. Last month's full moon night, who was it staring at Miss Arya's photo on his phone screen, longing and pining until he was delirious, calling out Miss Arya's name? I bet she was in your dreams too. And the full moon night before that, you parked your car outside Miss Arya's dorm all night. How many times did you want to rush into the dorm but held yourself back at the last second? Even a ninja turtle would kneel and call you daddy. If we don't say anything, Miss Arya will never know. Do you really want to endure this for the rest of your life? Shut up. I can endure it, Declan said, lowering his eyes. The doctor standing nearby shouted anxiously. Endure my ass. If you keep this up, you won't see tomorrow's sunrise. Miss, why are you just standing there? Hurry up and find a way to ease his symptoms. The bodyguards standing by the bed all bowed deeply to me with utmost respect. But, what should I do? I don't know how. The doctor, while using scissors to cut away the blood-soaked bandages, said. Kiss him. I blushed, my cheeks turning crimson. Standing at the head of the bed, I didn't know how to kiss this aloof man in front of everyone. Suddenly, a bodyguard shouted. Miss Arya, do you know how the young master got injured? 2 days ago, there was a fire in your school's auditorium. Weren't you trapped inside, unable to escape? You even passed out from smoke inhalation, nearly suffocating to death. Let me tell you, it was the young master who rescued you from the fire. Because of the marking, the young master can sense when his mate is in danger. The young master ignored everyone's attempts to stop him and rushed into the inferno to find you. When he carried you out, he was unfortunately struck by a falling beam, and his entire back caught fire. but he still endured the excruciating pain and used his last ounce of strength to carry you out of the fire, only to have his brother snatch you away. When the younger master saw the older master carrying you out of the fire, he immediately rushed over and took you from the older master's arms. If he was so concerned about you, why didn't he go in to save you himself? What? I couldn't believe it. Was this how Declan got hurt? I remembered waking up from my coma 2 days ago with Liam by my side. I had assumed Liam had saved me. The information I was receiving today was too much to process, leaving no room for bashfulness or embarrassment. Never mind, saving a life was the priority. In the heat of the moment, I leaned down towards Declan. Staring at his sensual lips, I kissed him hard. Don't touch me. Declan's tone was fierce, pushing me away, but his hands gripped the bedsheets tighter and tighter. He was trying so hard to resist that his throat bobbed up and down, his eyes red and frightening. The image of this beautiful man in repose was truly tempting. But his tone grew even colder. Arya, do you know what you're doing? Don't you usually try to stay as far away from me as possible? Don't do something you don't like just to repay a debt. And don't listen to their nonsense, it's useless. Your kiss doesn't affect me at all. But the doctor suddenly exclaimed excitedly. It's working. The rate of blood loss has slowed down. Miss Arya, quickly, keep kissing him. The young master's body is far more honest than his mouth. Kiss him hard. The doctor's excited words were like a harsh slap to Declan's stubborn mouth. Declan's face grew uncomfortable, and for a moment, he buried it in the pillow. Was he actually embarrassed? The tips of his ears were so red they could drip blood. The bodyguards also wept with joy and encouraged me. I knew calling Miss Arya would work. Miss Arya, from now on, don't believe a word the young master says. He's just pretending to be tough. His mouth says no, but his heart is desperate for it. Look at how red his ears are, and his voice is so hoarse it's about to catch fire. The young master is just shy and doesn't want to trouble you. After all, your heart only belongs to the younger master, right? Declan raised his head and coldly glared at the bodyguards. Shut up. Unfortunately, for the sake of his life, the bodyguards collectively ignored his angry gaze. I took the opportunity to boldly turn Declan's handsome face towards me. Holding the back of his head, I directly sealed his lips with mine. No matter how stubborn he was, I couldn't remain unmoved by his intention to save me twice. I couldn't let him down. The moment our lips touched, I clearly felt Declan's whole body tremble with emotion. But he still clung to his last shred of reason. Arya, don't you understand? I don't need you to repay me like this out of gratitude. What kind of person do you think I am? Do I need your pity? My eyes grew moist. Declan, I'm willing to. There's no reluctance at all. I took his hand and pressed it against my heart. His pupils suddenly constricted, as if he had touched something he shouldn't have. Don't look, don't touch. He tried hard to pull his hand away. But I held onto his hand, refusing to let go. Declan, feel my heart. There's truly no reluctance here. Don't feel pressured. Declan's Adam's apple bobbed faster, his restraint growing even more intense. Don't lie to me. I know your heart only has room for my brother, Liam. Earlier when the bodyguard called you, I overheard. You said Liam needed you more tonight. I wanted to explain, but Declan's phone on the bedside table suddenly rang. I glanced at the screen. It was Liam. Declan also looked at the phone and swiped to answer. Liam, what is it? Liam's equally distressed voice came through the phone. Brother, my werewolf nature awakened tonight. I feel terrible. And that damn Arya still hasn't shown up. I thought I could resist, but I overestimated myself. Declan glanced at me. Arya, she. I immediately kissed Declan's lips, stopping the words he was about to say. Declan lost control due to my repeated initiative, his pupils contracting sharply. His large, powerful hand instinctively held the back of my head, seeming to want more. But reason quickly overpowered impulse. He pushed me away, not having time to tell me I was here. Liam's complaints came through the phone. Of course I know Arya is just delayed by traffic. She must be dying to fly over and help me ease my symptoms right now. Her heart must be bursting with joy. But something so easily obtained always feels a bit lacking. I really don't want her to take advantage of my vulnerable state. Why does our werewolf love have to be imprinted with lifelong loyalty from the core? Declan's eyes, red and frightening, were tinged with surprise and anger. You don't want to be loyal to her? Then why have you been leading her on since childhood? Liam spoke to his older brother without reservation. I was young and hadn't seen many women before. I didn't know how colorful the outside world could be. Liam. Declan suddenly called his brother's name in a heavy tone. If you don't cherish her, don't blame me for cherishing her instead.